DN Media and Narrative Lamp Publishing present Soul of Ashes series box set, written by D.N. Leo, narrated by Erin Bateman and Catherine Edwards.
DN Media and Stained Glass Media present Fire at Crossroad, Shadow Hunter Trilogy, Prequel, written by D.N. Leo, narrated by Catherine Edwards. Prologue. This was the third time he had died. His name was Michael Fraser. He was 30 years old, Earth age. When the fire swallowed him and burned his body and his mind, that had been the end of him. He had traveled the multiverse so much he had lost track of time, but he vividly remembered how many times he had died, or come close to it. When he was 8, he had been ready to let his stepfather cut his throat. It was much easier for a street kid like him to die than survive the brutal New York winter without food and warm clothes. But Kieran LeBlanc, a total stranger back then, hadn't let him die. He'd given Michael hope, but then he'd made him wait a long 7 years until their paths crossed again. That was when he died for the second time. No human could survive being dragged across dimensions without protection. Again, Kieran had helped him to stay alive, although not as a human. And now, 15 years later, he had died for the third time. This time Kieran wasn't around. He heard Kieran's voice echoing in his mind. "If you die, there's nothing else you can do. You cannot help anyone any longer, and you will be forever in debt to me and those who love you." But if he died this time, he'd save a lot of people. Wouldn't that be worth the cost? How many people could one person save? Was that what Kieran wanted him to do? Act in the interest of a greater cause? The incredible heat crept closer. He was too young to die, and he knew it. Michael scrambled up from the ground and grabbed his gun and cursed himself. Going into a brooding mode in the middle of life and death action wasn't a good idea. He looked at the giant fireball rolling toward him and muttered, "Oh, shit." Chapter 1. Lyla glared at the giant typo she had made on the computer screen. She glanced around, making sure none of her staff was still lurking around working at this hour. The station was quiet. The ground glass wall was still and calm, opening wide to the outside view of the magnificent Udasian landscape. She was in the Seifel Center, an exclusive area for royals and those in authority. There were no citizens here, no crowds. She liked it that way. If they wanted that kind of atmosphere, she could go down to the districts where billions of beautiful Udasians lived. But for now, tranquility was what she needed. It suited her mood. She returned her attention to the monitor, where she was learning to type in English. She didn't really have to be doing it. Her English was perfect. Her Udasian was excellent. And she also spoke several languages of different universes. But she liked learning. This was the age of technology, when all she had to do was press a button and a robot communicated for her in any language. She had helped design the system, and she was proud of it. But she dictated all the time, so when it came to manual typing, she was somewhat clumsy. She felt the burning sensation in her hands and her fingertips again. It had been happening over the last 2 weeks. She looked at her hands and found them a bit shaky.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?